Some new cards off the eBay. I got some Voyager cards. I got some Deep Space Nine cards, some Enterprise cards. They're not trivia cards. They're just cards. So that's how the episodes will begin. That's how the rounds will start and do their thing. I bought some Farscape ones, some Babylon 5 cards. Not quite liking the Babylon 5 cards. Did I say Stargate? I meant Farscape. I do have some Stargate cards coming. So this is as close as I can get with the trivia aspect of it. So I randomly just, this was the card. It's got some heavy stock. I don't know when they were made. They're Skybox cards from 95. So I guess it's all about first season of Voyager at the time. There we go. And this, we've made it to Caretaker part. Now, I did shuffle these in hopes that, we wouldn't go down. I shuffled them all. Put them all on the table, and I shuffled them, and I put them in. Ooh, this one's on Terra Nova. That's a fine episode. I feel like that's almost worth keeping and talking about someday, because I didn't find Terra Nova that bad of an episode. Thank you very much. Anyway, so here's Caretaker Part 2. I just watched this a few weeks ago, because I'm starting to rewatch Voyager stuff. In my world, there is no Caretaker Part 2. It's just Caretaker, but the card has done what the card has done. And we are introduced to the Okampa and the Kazon Ogla. Remember the Kazon Oglas? Kind of like the Kazon. They weren't bad. We were always taken with, do you have any water? A lot of folks didn't take that too seriously when it was happening. And Tuvok deduced that this is where they go to the Caretaker's small little town Caretaker creates. And then Torres and Harry have the little legions on the skin, and they're healed later on. Some beats didn't quite work in the Caretaker, did they? But it was an entertaining episode. Pilots are tough to pull off. And here we see Kes finding Harry and B'Elanna and beaming them back to the ship. There we go. One thing I didn't catch with Caretaker, that there was another Caretaker when I watched it, when it finally came out again on DVD, and I thought that line was inserted because I just don't remember the end of Caretaker as it would broadcast deal with there is another. And of course that became an episode later on that I don't remember. I'm going through my Voyager companion. I'm going to get caught up with these episodes, at least the basics. But the cards help. The cards remind us what the episodes are about. So I was never a big card person, but here they are. So there's Caretaker Part 2. There's no trivia to go along with that. It just simply is. I didn't expect to talk about it for the whole time I'm talking to you today. But yeah, we're learning about Caretaker. Thanks, Skybox. What trivia should we pick out today? It's going to have to be Trek related, because I'm not doing a comic book show. I should probably do more comic shows. All right, let's go back to the Pursuit cards, because that's what I want to do. I have one in my hand. What will it be? I'm excited. You excited? I'm excited. It's oh no. No, I already did this. We're doing it again. We can't get enough of it. I'm sorry, it's Star Trek V again. Now, I feel like I said a lot of my piece on the Star Trek V, but the forces of randomness are not letting it go. Where's my Star Trek 4 card? I love Star Trek 4. I'll even take a Star Trek 3 card. Did we do a Star Trek 3 card yet? Anyway, and of course my favorite is the TMP, the motion picture, and we haven't done those at all. Okay, Star Trek V. I still want to do a deep dive on Star Trek V because there's something about the Sybok character that I stumbled on, but I've got to go through my notes and go, this makes sense. And I think it had to do with the Psy and Sybok with the PSI, and it might touch on what I was reacting to last time I had a Star Trek V question, where this seems to be a very anti-psychiatric movie. As if it's almost to the point of, well, let's see if this story sounds familiar. Guru looking for God comes and makes everyone else feel better. Yeah, okay, I'll leave that alone right now. That's where I'm going. But okay, where will this take me? I don't remember the name of this captain. from Star Trek Five. I knew it was kind of crass that he blew up a Voyager probe, as if that's a giving the finger to the first Star Trek film. All right, we can all have a sense of humor about things. The lighting. This is the first time you saw like TV lighting on a Klingon vessel. I mean, not even next gen episodes lit their Klingon vessels this bright. That didn't go well to the overall aesthetic to the movie. But that movie. Okay, here's the annoying thing about Star Trek Five. It was Star Trek Five that began only the odd number movies are horrible, and that's not true at all. If you watch, and you can, and I have. I watched all the Siskel and Ebert reviews of the Star Trek films in order on YouTube, where we're at right now. And this odd number issue didn't come up until maybe after Star Trek V, because there's nothing wrong with the first movie. Star Trek 3 is a great movie. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4 was a fine movie. So it's only with 5 that it starts this. And it may hold true to most of the movies after. Well, Star Trek 6 is good. I'm going to leave that debate alone right now, but that's something worth note in somebody's small book, I suppose. So no, I don't. Oh, Clang. Let's call him Clang. I'll do the answers at the end. We'll do an answer section. It'll be easier for me. El Capitan. That's the mountain he attempts to climb, and that's Nimoy in the gravity boots. Or no, they're not gravity boots. They're called something. I don't remember. Are we going to have a marshmallow question later on too? Or the marshmallow? We already did the row your boat in my There Are 4 Rows episode. Round. What have you. I can't believe I got another Star Trek 5 question. How much can you do with this movie? Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, now I'm going to have to... Was it called like the Galactic Army of Light? I mean, there you go right there. You're already playing up on the cults with the psychiatric bent, or using the tools of... You kind of see where I'm going with here. Was Sybok as clear as he needed to be? I think it's Galactic Army of Light. That's what the Romulan ambassador says. We are captured by what they're calling the Galactic Army. Let's just call it the Galactic Army of Light. Okay, I'm going to move my dock cam over because I'm kind of stretching here. Next, please. Oh, well, Sybok was older. Sybok was Sarek's fully Vulcan son from a previous marriage, so Sybok was the older brother. Now, I'm fine with Sybok being in the continuity. There's nothing wrong with the Sybok mention. It doesn't destroy anything for me. That's not the problem with this movie. I had no issue with Sybok. Now, the suspension of disbelief comes in with this is a big galaxy, and suddenly Spock meets Sybok. Okay, and I've already shared my other suspension of disbelief in this movie, where when I first saw it as like a 13, 14-year-old kid, I'm like, this disturbs me that these characters who I think I know suddenly come under... It's not mind control, right? That's where it got me off. If it was mind control, I could accept it. But it's... Sybok makes people feel better about their pain, but they're still the same person. It's not mind control, but yet they let him take this vessel and go. That's where I'm lost with this. This becomes upsetting. That's where the movie lost me. I'm like, I don't understand that. And maybe that's what Shatner needed to set up, so Shatner can be Shatner and become the only hero in this whole movie, because it's his movie and it's Shatner Kirk. It's not Kirk. It's this. I digress. I'm not bagging on Shatner. Shatner is what he is. But maybe that's the problem too. Okay, this is the cute beat in the movie. They're in the brig, And Spock got to test the brig. That's why. But who bails them out of the brig? Scottie does. Anyway, it's Scottie. It's James Doohan. How James Doohan never gets caught is he just so busy. He loves the ship. There's no pain for Scottie because he's so in love with the ship. We never really see Sybok heal Scottie, do we? Because at this time he's having a relationship with Uhura. So that's kind of glossed over, isn't it? You know, McCoy gets Syboked, Spock gets Syboked, Kirk doesn't. Kirk says, "Screw you." Scottie never gets the "I can feel your pain." At least not that I remember, because Scottie, he gets knocked in the head, which I suppose is the equivalent to having Sybok say, "Each of us has an inner pain, and share your pain with." I guess it's really worth a sit-down view. I can't say that I really stopped and watched this as a movie for a mighty long time. What shuttle did Uhura use to pick up Kirk, Spock, McCoy from the camping trip? Now, you want to say Galileo because that's pretty standard, but I think it was the Copernicus in this movie. Are you ready to turn around? I figured I'd be more trivia friendly and not just flip them for myself. Maybe I could get viewers to walk through my headspace with me. So this might be the format from now on. So let's take a look. Well, I think I got close. Did I say clang? And it's claw? That's the Klingon captain question. This is a disadvantage of forgetting what the questions were when we revisit them. So, claw. Okay. Now, now I want to. Okay, that's my 3 nows for the time we're spending together. I'm asking my own trivia questions that I'm sure will show up on the next Star Trek V card I get, which the way it's going will be the next time I do this. General Korg. General Korg? Korg was from Errand of Mercy. That's John Colicos. But General Korg in Star Trek V was the same actor that played Kempek. And I've mentioned before, the actor that played God was the Admiral from Best of Both Worlds. And that is George Murdock. I remembered his name after I did that last Star Trek V video. And George Murdock also played the Doctor on the original Battlestar Galactica. Boom. So Claw was El Capitan. Got it. Do I need any more credibility now that I knew it was the Galactic Army of Light? I think I'm ready to go out in the world and argue anything about Trek because I got Galactic Army. I'm waiting for the Galactic Army of Light to show up on Lower Decks. I think that would be a fine Lower Deck episode if we still had like Sybok's bald friend on the planet of Galactic Peace. Yeah, Lower Deck. I mean, they did El Capitan on Lower Decks. I think the Nimbus 3 is really open to be explored on a Lower Decks. And yes, Sybok was the firstborn of Sarek, but a Vulcan priest. I missed that beat. I forgot about that beat. That's on me. And Spock. Oh, this was the prison breakout. Well, you know, the brig was tested on Spock. Okay. I remember a joke. Never mind. Remembering old jokes about this movie. So I got this one wrong. I mentioned Galileo, but I went with Copernicus. And I think Copernicus was the shuttle that then Sulu crashes into the shuttle bay. All right, Galileo is what we do. All right, that's another Star Trek V round. The fates want me to go and watch this movie again. It's not going to make my wife happy if we watch it at night together. Maybe I'll just watch it in the kitchen. But I'm like watching Farscape and all the other shows. But okay. So we learned a little bit about Caretaker Part 2, and once again we're engaged with Final Frontier, and I don't know what kind of thumbnail photo I can have for this session. Maybe I'll just keep it as this because no other larger joke came out of it, unless I already did the El Capitan with the last Star Trek V, so this is gonna have to be it. So I'm gonna end my day with this and carry on. As soon as I press stop, it'd be great. Stop.